So I don't know if you captured this noise campaign. It's so sad. I'm listening to somebody tell me I'm going to get a new a-hole and all that. And that's because the reality of what they're part of is just embarrassing. You see these persons. This is and I blurred her face, but if I unblurred her, you will see exactly how this person is perhaps not mentally all the way there. I remember she used to be an old co-worker of mine, an old colleagues. Very, very bizarre. Very extremely bizarre. Very weird. And I remember her. She had like a lot of issues in her life, personal life. To the point where she couldn't even like she was losing teeth, and that's because she was just not like hygienic, not because she was a target individual that's being radiated. And she had multiple issues with her husband. She had like a lot of weird thing going on, but she's also very bizarre. And I remember when I started working, and matter of fact, as I'm speaking about it right now, they're trying to counter that because they want to live a fantasy, right? And it's pathetic. So they're trying to tell me, oh, these people, they knew that's why they put you in the program, because I was put in the program by my employer when I was working with these people. But they're very, very bizarre, very weird people. And when I mean weird, I'm not saying I'm saying like they had weird their life was just weird. They didn't care about themselves. They let themselves go. They would just had a weird conversation and it was just bizarre. And I remember we had this lunch thing, right? I sit on the table with her, others, and other kind of weird people, like a group of weird co-workers of mine, right? And they'll start talking about their kids. And this person specifically, she starts saying, I don't know why people are weird about seeing little girls naked. And she's like, it's like a little girl is like just a little, it's just, that's this. I said that they try to change into something else. It's just a little line, right? It's just a little line. I don't know why people find this weird. And mind you, I'm the only guy sitting there, right? I'm 26 years old, 27 years old. I'm like, it is so bizarre. It's so weird. And I'm like, and they were talking about that. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? This is so weird. And it's like, these people this is so weird. And you look at her, you know this is kind of person that will have this kind of conversation. And then now, today, they're bringing that up. And they're like, they knew you were. That's what they brought that kind of subject. I'm like, what? I was, that moment I knew they were very, I looked at it, I remember looking at her, I was like, what is wrong with this person? Who talks about these things like that? And they're like, maybe because there's like a bunch of other mothers, but who's like, this is so weird. And I remember I'm looking at her with a weird face, and I can see some other person just come up and say, so how was your weekend? I'm like, it was okay. I was like, I'll never sit with these people ever again. And then and they're like, now try to make noise campaign and making me imagine some disturbing things. Try to make me think of when I was like a really young kid, like in middle school, when they were washing the baby, and this little baby girl, and it's like, remember when you saw this little baby girl naked? I was like, what? Yeah, that's what they were talking about. It was weird for you to look at that. To look at the baby naked. It was weird for you to look at the baby naked when they were washing her, when you were a kid. That's why they were bringing that. And then this trash next door. I wish I would have taken a picture. She's trying to make this make sense. So she slams the door and starts insulting me in Spanish. These people were weirdos in the caliber that you don't understand. That is, everybody's kind of quirky, but this is just weirdness. Finding out later this person had issues of all sorts. She was telling me about her and her husband, how she got all this STD from her husband. She was she didn't have time to it was just like a mess, and she was something that was not normal. She was taking all kind of antidepressant and things like that. She was like, oh my gosh. And now they knew. It's like, this is actually depicting how these weirdos were, how bizarre these people were. Where I start working. And they're like, no, you'll lose. Yes, I know I'll lose, because You guys are trying to make me imagine this person like me, like, oh no, they're just talking about you when you were kids, and they're like, oh no, you molest. It's like, please, you molest, and you try to force me, a grown man, to think about baby's genitals, and then try to create these stimulations and feel weird sensation, and then talk about me as a kid when they were washing the baby, and try to create like you thought this was weird. And he's like, no, okay, no, forget it. But remember what you did as a kid. What? These people are delusional. And this is the same people who are torturing children. And I should have taken a picture of this woman who was making this noise campaign. Tried to make me subscribe to these things. It's disgusting. And now they try to make me imagine kids naked. I'm like, what? This is just delusional stuff. You guys try to make me imagine when I remember when they were about to watch this little girl. And I was a little boy. And so I didn't care, like, whatever. And they try to, you see that. I was like, try to put things together in this fabricated weird way, using this very weird individual who, in the midst of us having lunch, talking about her baby's genitals. It's just a line. What? Yuck. I'm like, what are you talking about? And like, no, they use this like voice, right, trying to sell it. I was like, they knew. I was like, you are such a clown. These people live off a reality of disgusting, of nonsensical. That's why they don't want to be seen. And then they send this woman who's just damn near has to makes herself look crazy to try to sell this BS. Can you imagine? This woman talking about, I don't know why people worry about it. And then now they're trying to like, no, she wanted to see if you stimulate. What? It was the weirdest, disturbing conversation ever. And I'm looking at him like, this weird people. Where am I? Like, what is wrong with these people? It's like, what kind of etiquette? Like, you talk about your baby's genitals. I'm like, hey guys, I don't know if you guys talk about this usually, but I'm here. Please don't talk about it. I'm looking at it. And they try to make this thing like a normal conversation. And I remember looking at her. And it's like, what is wrong with these people? And now they try to be like, oh no, that's it. It's that they knew. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at these weirdos. Oh my gosh. Finding out this person has so many issues. She was telling me her and her husband, she did, I could only imagine her house so super dirty. She was missing teeth. Like, no, man, her teeth broke. Not because she's ready or anything. It's because she's just like let herself go to that point. Not because she's a target individual, because we know as a target individual, they decay your teeth. It's humiliating. And now they here try to make it, oh no, they knew. That's what they were talking about, these disturbing things. During table at lunch. It's like, you lose. Yes, I lose because my brain is this illogical. Now they have these retards in the hallways try to make noise campaign to try to makes you subscribe to this retardation. This is humiliation. To try to make these people look like they're just normal individual that will have a random interaction about how people find it weird to see little girls naked. And she was like, it's just a line. I was like, what the F is she? What? And I'm looking at her, it's like, I could never forget, like, this weird, it's like, these people literally talk. And she was talking to another weird person. They're all like a clique of just random people with like weirdness that is just not understood. And it's not like the good type of weird. It's the kind of weird that will have this kind of conversation. And me, I'm on the table, was like, hey, I was like, why would you like talk about this here? It's disgusting. And you know what they say? I was like, no, they knew. What? They knew that it was going to be awkward and disgusting and disturbing for me to hear that? These people try to sell it. No, they knew. That's what they thought. It's like, okay, yeah. I was like, oh, tell me more about that. These people are delusional. Trash. And like, look at these people like, yeah, these weirdos talking about their babies. It's just a line. Ugh. In my head, they're like, oh no, they just like, you like that, huh? Delusional. And right now you hear these people just dropping, try to make me subscribe to this thing. You hear that? You see that? This trash, you think I'm going to make me subscribe to this thing? Hold on, let me go. This is delusional trash. These people have no shame. And this is why they dropped this thing right now at the same time, because I'm supposed to be subscribing to this. Thank you. You hear that? They're supposed to make you subscribe to this nastiness. No shame. And this guy, he looked at me as if I'm going to subscribe to this thing. To all my target individual, these people want you to subscribe to this thing. It's so obvious. To me, I'm looking at them for what they are. And they're supposed to act accordingly. This person who just delivered, and I'm glad that he did at the same time. He looked at me, and I'm supposed to be like, subscribe. It's like, are they gonna change? I'm like, whatever they do to me, you guys are delusional trash. This person who talks about her little baby and talk about this a line, and then these people try to slam the door and they're banging as if I'm gonna subscribe. I was like, please, let me see. Okay, thank you. He tried to look at me with this, just like, oh, we got you. I was like, oh my gosh, you're delusional. This woman had decaying teeth naturally. She literally broke her teeth brushing them because it was so rotten. She had all kind of insurances. She's been working at this company for. She let herself go so much to that point. And then them with her crew of weirdos start talking about babies. And I don't know why people are just, it's just weirdness. And it's like, no, they knew. I paid those. Like, listen. First of all, look at the weirdness that you try to cover up. On top of that, you find out these people who actually do this noise campaign and everything you hear. These people are filled with pedophiles, and now they are trying to create this story in a different version, try to make me think, oh, but remember when you were kids, you saw this kid being well, and then they try to bring kids, they try to wash naked. What? These people live off a reality that is so nonsensical, but look at what they try to cover up. To my target visuals, stay strong. Just know these people are doing everything possible to cover reality.